Submission, faith, and patience, you conveyed the noble message, brought us light through your guidance. Peace be upon you, my beloved.
What was the vision that Prophet Ibrahim, peace and blessings upon him, saw?
As he woke up startled from the vision he saw, the Prophet Abraham, peace upon him, couldn't believe what he saw. Disturbed by the vision, but knowing that there's no doubt it is a command from God, he sets out in his disturbed state to visit his son once again. He makes his way in the morning and starts traveling towards the Valley of Mecca, making it there and seeing his son, hugging him, spending time with him. As his eyes start watering, he says to his son, I have something I have to tell you. And his son, Ismail, peace upon him, he says to him, tell me, father, anything. He says to him, son, I saw a vision. And Ismail assuredly knew that a vision of a prophet is a command. I saw a vision that I'm slaughtering you for the sake of God, ending your life. Startled by the vision, Ismail, weeping slightly to follow his father, he says to him, what do you think, father? He says, you tell me what you think, Ismail, peace upon him. And the son thinks for a little, and he says to his father, my father, do what you're commanded, and you will find me, with God's will, patient. And the father, happy that his son has followed his legacy, but then sadder that he has to kill him. He realizes that God has a wisdom in everything. And just like he obeyed commands before, when he was 16, when he was 21, even when he had to be thrown into a pit of fire himself, he still gave the choice to his son, because he wants to know that his lineage, that he's going to have to take his life, he wants to know that he was upon the right path, and his son chose the right path. So he lays down, waiting patiently to be slaughtered, Ismail, and Abraham takes the sharpest knife with the tears from his eyes and starts to slaughter his son, cutting at the jugular vein to end his life as quickly as possible. But the sharpest knife he could find became the softest, dullest knife on the neck of Ismail, touching it like a feather, even though it was a sharp knife, because the God who commanded Abraham and Ismail, peace upon them, commanded the knife, that even though you're a sharp knife, do not cut the jugular vein of Ismail. And Gabriel comes down, peace upon him, and says to Abraham, you obeyed the command, and so did your son. This is the ultimate test. It was a test, and instead of Ismail, you will slaughter a ram, and it will be a symbol for mankind for the rest of time, that those who had to follow sacrifices, as much as giving up the life of a son after waiting for a son for 100 years, means that if we follow in their footsteps, it's okay to sacrifice a little wealth to feed people who don't have food. It's okay to sacrifice a little time to serve the causes that will change the world for the better. It's okay to stand up alone, sacrifice a job or sacrifice well-being if it means standing up for justice on earth, because that's the legacy of Abraham and Ismail. And that's the legacy that Abraham was told would also be taught through a second son. So not only would a prophet come from the lineage of Ismail, peace upon them all, but also he would be given a second son, Isaac, peace upon him. And no prophets for the rest of time, for the rest of humanity, would come through anyone other than those two sons. And so for the rest of time, and the lineage after, Ismail taught his children, and their children were taught that teaching and that wisdom of Abraham. But as we always do as a human family, the later generations lost their way. And came a man named Quraysh, who led a tribe that was from his family against the people who led Mecca in the later generations from a tribe of Khuza'ah. And when they defeated them in a civil war and ousted them from Mecca before departing, Khuza'ah destroyed Mecca by destroying Zamzam. They put Zamzam down into the earth, put heaps of dirt on top so that it would be lost forever. And now water was gone for Quraysh, although it had the leadership. And later generations had to get water from outside of the city in order to serve the population that was visiting the blessed house and living in Mecca. And it wasn't until the vision of a man named Abdul Muttalib, the grandfather of our subject prophet, peace and blessings upon him, Muhammad. It wasn't until his vision, just like the last vision we heard, his vision that would change the course of history yet again. We'll see what his vision was next time we're together. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
With submission, faith, and patience, you conveyed the noble message, brought us light through your guidance. Peace be upon you, my beloved. Ya Habibi, Ya Muhammad.